PC fam, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. Thursday is just another day where you get to come up here and chill with Chill and get nothing but good, damn that, great hoop talk. So we are here. We got me, of course, Big Ox, in the man of the hour, Chill. We got some interesting news today. Something that kind of threw me through a loop. I mean, obviously, we got the whole Clippers situation, Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard. They're starting to look at Jalen Brunson. We know all that. We'll get to that in a little bit. First things first, though, Chill. Ben Simmons dropped by his agent.
Yeah.
And because just yesterday, late last night, I saw something that said Ben wasn't even sure if he wanted to hoop this season. And now he gets dropped by his agent. Do you think that those are... Is there a correlation there to those? Is that a cause and effect thing? Like what's happening?
I think that they worded it wrong. I think what they make it sound like is dropped by his agent, like his agent dropped him, when I think it was mutual. I think that Ben Simmons, we've been moving toward this for quite some time now. I'm not sure how much Ben Simmons actually wants to play basketball anymore, especially at this level. I think he still wants to play, but I think he's one of those guys who enjoyed the things that came with basketball more than he actually enjoyed the game. I think that's who Ben Simmons was more than anything. And I think the other side of basketball, I think he could do without that. Ben Simmons actually became a really good player in the NBA. And with him being a really good player, there's things that come with that. Like there's added pressure. There's stuff there's things about you having to get better. There's improvement that people expect from you. There's more that people expect from you. I don't think that he was interested in that. I think that he just wanted to play, and whatever came with it, that's just what came with it. I think he couldn't care less about that. And when the situation happened in Philadelphia where he ultimately flamed out and he got ran out of town, I think that broke him mentally. And I think that couple that with the injury that he had to his back, I think that all of this stuff just came all at once. We had the Philadelphia situation where they ended up losing to Atlanta in 21, which, by the way, Ox, they had no business losing to Atlanta in that series. No way that they should have lost to them. Absolutely.
I mean, and Ben had some really bad fourth quarters in that.
He had some stinkers, Ox. 100% he had some stinkers. And I thought he lived up to his reputation as a defender. He did a really good job on Trey Young. In fact, he held Trey Young under league average, not only league average, his average in the fourth quarter. He did a really good job against him. But when you play in basketball cities like Philly, like Boston, like New York, like when you're playing basketball cities like that, they will get behind you. But I'll tell you one thing they will do too. They will get on you. They 100% will get on you. And as quickly as they love you, that's how quickly they hate you. And I feel like Ben Simmons is at the point now in his career where he went from being the number one overall pick, being an all-league defender, being an all-NBA performer, being an all-star. He goes from that to being relatively a journeyman who's playing on minimum deals. And it's just a telltale to how much he actually loves the game. And I don't think he loves it as much than he loves the stuff that comes with it. So I think that's kind of where the separation is with now him and his agent, where, you know what, maybe I just don't want to do this anymore. I think I think basketball was a means to an end to the other stuff that he was able to get. And I mean, rightfully so. And I think it's obvious at this point where we are with it.
One second, Chill. Let me see. So I see Mike and Break Bread. I see y'all in the chat, and apparently you guys are having some issues with the Splash Sports with the account. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe hit Ron on IG or Twitter, or hit the Players Choice account on IG or Twitter, and Ron, JD, Claire, I'm sure somebody will be able to help y'all through that. I'm not sure how, what the issue is or what's going on, but hit up one of those guys, hit, like I said, hit Ron on IG or Twitter, hit the Players Choice account on IG or Twitter, and I'm sure they'll definitely take care of you. I got this crazy glare right here, Chill. I'm gonna reposition real quick.
No problem.
Go ahead, as far as where you were at.
As I was talking about with Ben Simmons, I mean, I just feel like we're at this point with him where he's in a space where it didn't work out the way he thought it was going to work out in terms of being a basketball player and the stuff that came with it. And I think that there were certain things that he wanted, but there were certain things that did come with it that he really wasn't interested in. And because those things that came with it that he wasn't interested in, I think that outweighed all the other stuff. I think that outweighed the money. I think that outweighed his game, and I think that it's blown out of proportion, and I think it's misrepresented misrepresented what he was talking about with the agent. I think that it was a mutual thing. I don't think his agent was like, "I get the hell out of here," because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like his agent just dropped him, and I don't.
That's how they made it seem like in the
Yeah.
headlines and stuff. Yeah,
they're making it sound like his agent just dropped him, and I think that it was more of a mutual thing where, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, and you probably have you probably have better options with other guys as opposed to me. So it's probably best if we sever ties and we went our own separate way, up the strength that you can do better than with me. And you know, I'm gonna move on to other stuff, because if we're being honest, I mean, Ben Simmons made a lot of money. I don't know how smart he was with his bread. Ben Simmons made a lot of money. So, you know, I ain't hurting for bread right now. I don't know what that looks like in 5 years. I don't know what that looks like in 10 years. But as of right now, you know, I'm not hurting for bread. I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Chill, I saw a post. One of the young fellas from UNC, North Carolina. I can't remember his name. I'm not sure who he is. He used his NIL money and actually bought a Ben & Jerry's franchise. I was so happy, so proud of the young man when I saw that.
I think where we are, Ox, in the space that we in today. This is why I'm so envious of these guys. And the reason why I'm envious of these guys is because there's so much more information today than what it was 10, 15 years ago, right? So, you know, at 20 years old, Ox, you get an NIL deal and you get $400,000. You know, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about what's going on right now. You ain't thinking about 10 years from now that this $400,000 is going to be gone. No, because you're still young, you're still an athlete, and you think that you're going to be able to do this for a long time, not realizing that, there's a short window in being a professional athlete. It's not a large window. It's a short window in this. And this kid at University of North Carolina, he recognizes that, all right, well, I can actually make some money, long money, not short money, because that's what the league money is. That's the short money, Ox. This 8, 10, 12 years, that money has to last me forever. That money doesn't have to last me for the next 10 to 15 years. No, that money has to last forever. And what he did with investing in his money, he invested in himself. And
yes, sir.
I know for a fact that moving forward, this is something that's going to be able than buying a Ben & Jerry's, because people love ice cream. In fact, people love Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I used to live in Vermont, so I know what that is. People love Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And this is a check, as long as I maintain the business, this is a check that won't ever stop. Ever. Yeah. I love that. I absolutely
proud of that young fella.
Thinking about the long game. Absolutely. I love that.
Proud of that. Yeah, man. Y'all make your pennies work for you, man. But in other news, talking about money, we saw 3 guys today make some decisions in their career. I'll start with Cam Thomas. So apparently, Chill, if you have it in front of you, I have it right here. I'll pull it up. Cam Thomas had a couple of options, right? He had there it is. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Cam Thomas had 3 options that the Nets offered. So it was a 2-year, $30 million with a team option. There was a 1 year.
After 1 year, by the way. After 1 year was a team option. Yep.
Okay, so 1 year and one year, and the second year is a team option.
1 for 1. It was a 1
for 1. 2 year, $30 million, 1 for 1. 1 year, 9.5, which he could be traded, obviously, and 1 year, $6 million qualifying offer with a no trade clause. Cam Thomas accepted the $6 million with the no trade clause.
Which
Chill, what do you think about that?
Well, number one, I'm a fan of the restricted free agent. I'm a fan of the restricted free agent. It's kind of like the franchise tag, but not quite, with the stipulations. Like a franchise tag in the NFL is, so as a wide receiver, you are franchise. So what kind of money you're looking at is you're looking at top 5 money. And the top 5 money you're looking at is the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. That's the dough. That's the going rate for you once you're franchised. The downside to being franchise tagged is you have to stay healthy. If you are not healthy and you don't play every game, you don't get this dough. Okay, that's not the case when it comes to restricted free agency. Restricted free agency is I'm not gonna bid against myself. What I'm going to do, Ox, is I'm going to allow you as a restricted free agent, go out there and test the market. Find out what your worth is. Find out what your dough is, because I'm not just going to put a max deal on the table if I'm not sure I'm willing to go that far with you. Like prime example would be DeAndre Ayton. When DeAndre Ayton was in a contract dispute with the Phoenix Suns, what did they tell him? They told him to go out and find out what your worth is, because the deal he was looking for was about 180 million. Well, the Phoenix Suns told DeAndre Ayton, go out there and find out what your worth is. And he did do that. Comes back from Indiana, who Indiana liked him at 133 million. Well, Phoenix goes, you know what? We might not like you at 180. We do like you at 130. So we're going to match that deal. Yeah, we like that deal. So, okay, if that's the market for you and we think that's conducive to what we think, okay, then bet. We'll absolutely do that. But we're not interested in going any further. But that's why you send me out there, Ox. That's why you send me out there to find out what it is, because you don't want to overpay for me, right? You definitely don't want to do that. So here we are with Cam Thomas. They send Cam Thomas out there. Cam Thomas is looking for something like 30 million a season, right? He's looking for something between 30 to 35 million a season. Well, Brooklyn says, yo, go out there and find out what it is. Nobody was interested in him at that price. He wants Brooklyn to pay because his services, they rendered them. He wants them to pay. Well, here's the difference. The difference is, as a restricted free agent, we still have you under contract. And they're not interested in going that far. So they offer him 2 years at 30 million with a team op after one. I actually like that deal for the team. And the reason why I like that deal for the team, because we could move off of him. We could get something for him after that. And at the end of that 1 year, we could cut ties with him. We could very well do that, which I'm not interested in just letting a guy just walk out the front door. Never been interested in that. Never will be interested in that. I still to this day think that Danny Ainge made a mistake letting Kyrie Irving, as good as he is, as a talent as he is, just letting him walk out the front door. I still think that he made a mistake doing that, even if he wasn't coming back there. You have to move him. I told you this in the past, Ox, that LeBron James wrote the blueprint. When we get into the season and a guy decides that he's not interested in negotiating a contract during the season, I'm trading him. And the reason why I'm trading him out is because he's not walking out the front door and I'm not getting nothing for him. So then we have the second part of this deal, which is $9.5 million with the trade clause in it. Like we can move off of you. So then he ends up taking the deal for $6 million, which is $3.5 million less, but you can't move off of me. That puts him in power. And that puts him in power, so he gets to dictate where he wants to go. Off the strength that if I get busy, so Ox, let's just say for the sake of argument, because he's averaging like 23, 24 a game, right? So with him averaging like 23, 24 a game, let's just say for the sake of argument, he's doing that again this year. And Brooklyn decides, because we haven't come to a deal, because it's obvious that they don't like him at that price that he's looking for. So they decide, all right, we're going to move off of him. He gets to decide where he wants to go. And then on top of him deciding that, there's teams who we've already found out they don't like him at that price, even if he is 23, 24 a game. It's not going to be a lot of suitors. So if it's not going to be a lot of suitors, now I find myself in a space where I might lose him for nothing. Now, I feel like in the NBA, bucket getters are a dime a dozen. I mean, because I feel like that's the league we live in. Now, don't get me wrong, Ox. I'm not saying that all bucket getters are the same. I think that Cam Thomas is of a select few, but there are a lot of bucket getters in the league. And I feel like we can replace this. I feel like there's certain things that we can replace. A guy like Cam Thomas, who is primarily a bucket getter and he really doesn't do anything else, even though I feel like he's in the upper echelon of bucket getters. I feel like I could replace that. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to put myself in a situation where I can't replace it because his contract is expired and he's walked out and he walked out the front door. I don't want to do that. And I feel like that's where Brooklyn is right now. I feel like Brooklyn's put themselves in a situation where this no trade clause, this gives him all the leverage. And the reason why it gives him all the leverage is because he gets to decide where he wants to go. And on top of that, at the end of the season, you're going to end up with nothing if you can't move off of him.
Yeah, but chill. He's about to chill. Cam Thomas is about to find himself in the Euro League, which isn't necessarily bad. I mean, that's good basketball. You get good money.
100%.
Cam Thomas is a bucket getter, and that's it. Cam Thomas, he should have took that 2 year, $30 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get to dictate where I'm going. It's not, you don't get to necessarily dictate where you're going if nobody wants you. Now, yeah, he might get traded because his contract is $6 million for this year. He might get traded. Somebody might want him. But at the end of the day, they already showed you that you're not worth what you think you are. You're a little delusional. As a lot of athletes are. A lot of athletes are delusional, and a lot of times you have to be delusional to even get to this point. Cam Thomas is overvaluing himself, right?
Yep.
So now you're trying to make demands, and you don't really have leverage. A no trade clause isn't as much leverage as I think he thinks it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with getting traded next year or having that team option or what, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you can fit that $15 million is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's more.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm looking at it like that because you can't just decide where you want to go if nobody wants you. And even more so, if you get it, you have another chance still. You still get to prove how good you are, so you can get better, and maybe next time around somebody come get you. But chill, yeah, I don't.
But to your point, if I'm taking that 2-year deal for $30 million, okay, number one, it's more than double what I'm already getting right now. That's number one.
Yeah, more than double.
It's more than double that. It's more than double what I'm getting right now. I could get busy, and in the process of me getting busy this year, I'm not going to overprice myself. I played for $15 million. I got busy, and I was a good Samaritan. You don't hear no issues out of me. I'm not one of these locker room cancers, anything like that. I got busy. At the end of this deal, you as a team, you can decide, all right, if you ain't interested in keeping me, you can move on. You can move on from me. But I can't say this enough when I tell you, Ox, that teams, it's just bad business to let guys walk out the front door. And a guy like Cam Thomas, who on some level may feel that he's overvalued himself, but I'm still 23-24 a game. I'm still that in the NBA. And because I'm that, there is somebody who is going to be interested in my services. My price tag, I might have to come down off of that a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I might have to be like, well, maybe 30 million might be a little bit much. Because let's be clear about one thing. And I never understood this, Ox, for the life of me. And you being a fan of the American justice system. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to price myself to Ox. I'm not going to do that, because what I'm doing is I'm putting myself in a box. Okay, this is what Ox made. This is what Ox made. This is what Ox made. So this is what I should be. No, because what happens next year when I get busier than what Ox got? Now I've already told you this is my price tag. What I was doing when I was with Ox. Well, okay, sure, you can come up with the logic that yesterday's price isn't today's price. Well, when you sign that 4-year deal, now yes, that's exactly what it is. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to put myself in a box like what Cam Thomas is doing, because he's telling everybody that I should get Tyler Hero money, right? I should get Austin Reeves money, stuff like that. Okay, let's get off of those dudes, right? Let's get off of those dudes. Let's worry about you. Let's worry about what you do. And what I do is I'm a bucket getter. I'm one of the best bucket getters in the game. I think he was in the top 10 in the league. I think there was a point where he was in the top 10 in the league in scoring. So with him being in the top 10 in the league in scoring, all right, I'm one of the better bucket getters in the game. I'm not going to price myself next to other bucket getters. No, this is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I am about. So with that being said, this is where I'm going to price myself. If you take that 2-year deal for $30 million with a team op, I think that it gives each of us more leverage, because one, they could move off of you. Even though it's a higher price tag, it's a lot less difficult to move. It's a lot less difficult to move $15 million at 24 a game when he's coming off the books for 1 year, as opposed to I'm moving $6 million, right? I'm moving $6 million, and he's going to want something substantially more. He's going to want something substantial after this. The $6 million, it looks good, but I think that he would have given himself more leverage, because I'm making double what I already made this season on the $6 million.
It's a lot of guys in the NBA that can average a lot of points on the Nets.
I think so too.
There's a lot of guys in the league that can average a lot of points on the Nets. And that's not a knock. That's just how basketball is. But with that being said, Chill, is a no trade clause worth that $3.5 million?
I don't think so, Ox. And the reason why I don't think so is because even if I did have a no trade clause, they know that I'm coming off the books at the end of the year. And I do have the discretion of whether or not I want to sign back with them. In fact, that would be part of getting traded there. So if Washington wanted to trade for me, I don't know, if Milwaukee, which needs a bucket getter, they wanted to trade for me, that would probably be part of, right? That would be part of me getting traded there. Because if I get traded there, even if I don't want to go there, well, they know that I'm not coming back after this deal is up. They know that I'm not going to come back, and what they're going to have to give up to get me. I mean, it could very well be a lot, because don't think for 1 second that Brooklyn is just going to hand him over. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that, a guy walking out the front door for nothing. I don't think a guy walking out the front door for nothing is good business. But I also don't think that just getting a bucket of extra crispy and a six-pack for a guy, that's good business neither, because that's not. No. Again, Cam Thomas is a bucket getter. And at 23-24 game, there's not a lot of guys that are doing that. But there are guys who are scorers in the NBA who are maybe a level below that I feel like we can replace that with.
Right. See, I see in the comment, like Max, you said it's an automatic no trade clause. That's at $6 million. He could have signed for $9.5 million with no trade clause. That's why I asked that question. It was a 2-year 30, a 1 year 9.5, no trade and no clause, or $6 million with the clause. So that's what I'm saying. Is the no trade really worth $3.5 million? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Also, Chill, we have Jonathan Kaminga. Jonathan Kaminga, he doesn't feel valued by the Warriors. So he's prepared to sign the qualifying offer with them and enter unrestricted free agency next summer. There haven't been any indications suggesting that the Warriors are thinking of changing their offer, and unless they do so over the course of the next week, Kaminga is prepared to end talks and accept his qualifying offer. League sources said at the end of the day, Kaminga wants to feel valued, and the Warriors haven't given him ample reasons to want to stay.
Ox, remember that song that Usher came out with, Burn, where this thing is over, but I'm not gonna break up with you, because I don't want the next dude to just everything that I built. I'm not gonna let the next dude just have it. So in this particular situation, they really don't know what they're doing with Jonathan Kaminga. They have no idea, Ox. Because if they knew what they was doing with him, they'd sign him long term. If they knew what they was doing with him, we would have already had a deal in place. Not this season, last year. Because we've seen guys get extensions after 2 years. They know what they have there. They don't know what they're doing with him. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get everything that they could possibly get out of him when they move on from him. My issue with Jonathan, is the same issue that I have. My issue is the same issue that I have with the Brooklyn Nets. You're going to lose this guy for nothing. He's already made it clear that he's not listening to any trade. He's not listening to any contract negotiations during the season. So if I'm not listening to any contract negotiations during the season, that means that I'm not going to have an opportunity to sign him. And on top of that, when I move forward with trading him, when I move forward with trading him, I'm probably going to have to get a deal that works for him, because again, he doesn't have a no trade clause in his contract. So with him not having a no trade clause, he still has all the leverage because he come off the books after this year. So whoever trades for him, they know for a fact that he's going to come back next season, or we're going to have him in the fold for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years, because we're going to get a contract extension out of him, as opposed to him getting traded to the Trailblazers. Okay, I ain't coming back here next year. No, the Trailblazers ain't paying for me. They're not going to give me a contract extension. So why would I even go? Why would I even go there? If they decided to trade for me, they need to know right from the beginning, I'm not coming back here. And the reason why I'm not coming back here, because you guys aren't paying. So because you guys aren't paying, there's no reason for me to be here. I think that the Golden State Warriors botched this. He should have been dealt this summer. If you're not going to sign him to a long-term deal, he should have already been dealt. And the fact that he wasn't already dealt, we still have, and the fact that he's already dealt, I think that was a mistake. They can still fix this, though. And the reason why I feel like they could fix this is because we saw Cat get traded like a week before training camp, right? We saw Drew Holiday get traded to Boston like a week before training camp. So this thing isn't over where we've already started the season. You know, training camp opens in a couple of weeks. So I think that this thing can be rectified. The question is what are the Warriors willing to do in terms of moving him? Because I think after the season, he's out of there. I think after the season, he's out of there. I don't think he's coming back. No, I don't.
Right. Now, see, the difference with this one is I think more teams can use JK as opposed to Cam Thomas. I think Jonathan Kaminga is a player that can help you win more. You know what I mean? So I see why he has kind of more of an issue going on. I think they just got like a power struggle going on over there. I'm not sure. I think maybe Steve Kerr's just stubborn, and the front office, they're just kind of, I don't know what's going on over there. Now, we've been keeping our eye on that situation for a while. I think we both expected him to be gone. You know, I thought Jonathan Kaminga was on his way out of there. So I hope he gets out of Golden State. You know what I'm saying? Sooner than later. With both of these guys, though, honestly, Chill, I'm still of the mind, get as much money as you can. Just get as much money as you can right now. Even if that means a 2-year, whatever it may be. I'm at this point in your career, at this age, I don't really think it's a good idea to gamble on yourself and take crumbs. When I say crumbs, I mean leftover scraps as opposed to what you could get. I think at this point in your career, at this age, I think it's very important to get that money. You know what I'm saying? Get that money.
Well, number one, I think that Jonathan Kaminga adds more value. Number one, he's 6'9". In addition to being 6'9", freak athlete, great in transition. In addition to that, he's got so many more ways that we could use him. Cam Thomas, as a smaller guy and primarily a bucket getter who doesn't really do much else. He doesn't defend at a high level. He doesn't distribute or play make on the offensive end as a distributor. He doesn't do that at a high level. Jonathan Kaminga, we see the upside. I think that the Golden State Warriors, what they've done is they've not priced him out, but I feel like there's a part of him that was broken, and that kind of lessened his value. And because it lessened his value, I think that the Golden State Warriors looked at this like we have somewhat of the upper hand, when in reality, when he gets with somebody else, they're going to take the shackles off, Ox. They're going to turn him loose, and they're going to let him be who he is. And I think that the Golden State Warriors are actually afraid of that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to hold on to him for as long as they possibly can. Don't think for 1 second that that's not how business in pro basketball works. It 100% is. Why am I going to hand over Jonathan Kaminga to the Phoenix Suns or to the Portland Trail Blazers or to a team like that that's on the come up? Why am I going to hand him over to them where he can flourish with them when I can keep him here and I can have him in a space where we can control that? Why would I do that? They wouldn't do that. That's just bad for business all the way around. So I feel like with the Jonathan Kaminga situation, the Warriors aren't really sure exactly what they're doing, but they know for a fact that we still have him under contract and we still have some leverage because he's healthy, because he can still play. So we still have some leverage in terms of moving off him. Cam Thomas, on the other hand, smaller, not as much in terms of athleticism, and I think that he doesn't have the value that Jonathan Kaminga has. So I think that the Warriors are in a little bit better of a position, because once they move off of him, I think they'll get substantially more for Jonathan Kaminga than what the Brooklyn Nets would get for Cam Thomas.
Yeah, I really wanted JK to go to Phoenix. I was excited for that. I thought that's where he was going to end up. I wanted to see that. I think he would have been good down there with them. You know, it's a tough situation. With that being said, Chill, I do think that at some point somebody has to buy in. And I do think that these a lot of these players, I think, for instance, I think JK is a little stubborn with the, I want to be featured in the offense type thing, or I could do this, I could do that. Like, don't really need you to do that, though. And I think he needs to buy in a little bit more over there. Instead of trying to butt heads with Steve Kerr, I think he needs to learn how to evolve his game a little bit. I think he needs to get better.
I've been here for 4 years, though, Ox. I've been here 4 years, man. And
I understand that. It might take 5. It might take 6.
Okay, so in the time that I feel like, because it's obvious that he feels like he's wasting away. You clearly not using me the way I think you should be using me. Well, in that time, what you also doing is you're restricting my earning power. because I'm not being used properly. I'm not able to showcase my game to show how good I am, which
Yeah,
will
but it's
up
not
my
all about
value.
him, though, Chill. It's about what they think he needs to do for them to be a better basketball team. And if he can do
100%.
that, you know what I'm saying, he can help them win more. You know what I mean? He can help
Yeah.
he can help them. I think Jonathan Kaminga is a good basketball player. I think there's some things that I think there's a lot of things he could do. You know what I mean? I think he needs to buy into that. Steve Kerr said already, that's not for you. We got Steph Curry, we got Jimmy Butler. I need you to be more of a, more on the Draymond tip. You know what I'm saying? You're not the superstar over here. I think Jonathan Kaminga needs to accept that. And you know what I'm saying? I think he needs to just get better and thrive in his role. That's my only criticism of Jonathan Kaminga. I think both of these guys, Jonathan Kaminga and Cam Thomas, I think they see themselves as completely different than their franchises do.
Now, with that being said, Ox, I showed up here in 21, and that was the championship year, and I was fast-tracked. I clearly wasn't prepared for what was going on when I first got here. I wasn't. I was not prepared for what was going on here. I got thrust into a championship situation, and I wasn't prepared on a pro basketball level, not just from a business standpoint, but in terms of talent to show where I am. However, in the last 4 years, I've gotten substantially better than what I was when I first showed up, but I haven't been able to showcase that. And I can appreciate your logic about it being, I can appreciate your logic about it being about me, but on some level, it is about me. I have been doing the team thing over the last 3 years, developing, showing that I can be a consummate role player, showing that I can be a rebounder, but at some point, showing that I can be a defender, showing that I can be these things that you want me to be. But Ox, at some point, you got to tell honey, listen, I'm not suit and tie all the time. That's not me. I like to throw on a pair of sweatpants. I like to throw on a sweatsuit. I like to throw on a pair of jeans and get fresh. That's actually who I really am. And I want to be that. I'm showing you that I can be that for you, but this is more of who I am. And if you're not going to allow me to be that, then I shouldn't be here, because I would much rather be somewhere else, showing who I really can be and actually upping my value.
Well, and if that's the case, Jill, and if that's the role Jonathan Kaminga takes, then he needs to sit back and wait until the Golden State Warriors can make that happen for him and them. This is just part of the game, Chill. To me, it's like, if you want to buck up against the franchise, up against the coach, and don't want to do exactly what we need you to do, then fine. Get better and sit back, and we'll move you when we can move you, when we can win too. That's just how it is. I know y'all are upset and y'all think that the patients should run the asylum, but that's just not how it goes. No franchise, no general manager, no coach, no ownership, no front office is going to take a loss so that a player can be happy. And unless you're a superstar player. And mind you, they should not. They never should. And I don't blame them. But we're in the situation. I hope JK works out. Like I said, y'all really wanted him in Phoenix, but we'll see. I'm pulling for both of these young fellas. I hope it works out for everybody. Some more news, Chill. We lost a good one today. We lost a good one, man. My man Trey Lyles is taking his talents to Spain. He'll be playing for Real Madrid. Mm-hmm. Can't believe this is happening. I'm so disappointed, but hey, shout out to him. Hope that works out. Hope it works out for him.
I know how you feel about that. I know how you feel about Trey Lyles. I don't know how you feel about your Sacramento Kings too, Ox. But I think this was more of a money move. And in addition to it being a money move, I also think this is a move where he wanted to play more. I think that he wanted to be more featured in the offense. I think he wanted to play more. And I think that playing for Real Madrid, it might not be the style of basketball that some people here appreciate, but playing for that Real Madrid team, that's his style of play. And I think he's trying to flourish and he wants to play more. So to be honest with you, I don't have an issue with this at all from him, because I'm going over there.
I'm happy for him. Like, I think he'll get to play, like you said, he'll get to play a lot more. I think that style of play over there really fits his play style. I think, and mind you, I mean, he had a decent NBA career. He was in the NBA for 6-7 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So he got a good run. He got some good money. went to the playoffs that one time, so like, hey, shout out to Trey Lyles.
Absolutely.
There's that. So let's get into this. First of all, before we do that, let me say shout out to everybody that's watching on Twitter, X. I'm sorry, everybody watching on YouTube. Shout out to y'all, and to the one person that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to you as well. I got a super chat here from my main man, Cowboy Bob. Cowboy Bob says, I would like to prove MJ can score 45 points per game this Saturday and will give a winner $100 cash app if proven wrong. I would like Chill's permission. Only need 5 minutes. Go New York, go. Chill. Is that okay if Cowboy Bob pulls up on Friday and cooks the chat and lets them know that Jordan could in fact score 45 points?
Let's see it. Let's see it. Absolutely, brother. Come on up here and do it. Yep. Let's see if you can do it. He tried to do it yesterday with me and Tone. It didn't work, but let's see if you could do it with the chat. Let's
Cowboy. I would love to. I would love to. I would love to.
He tried to do it yesterday with me and Tone, and it didn't work very well. It didn't go very well. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
So
I did send the link out if y'all want to pull up in a couple minutes and talk some hoop with us right now. We're going to touch on this Clippers curse. Chill, the Clippers curse has been extended. Why? What is going on down there in La La Land? I mean, they've moved to Inglewood. They got a new arena. I mean, they got new jerseys. They don't got to share the locker room, the area with the Lakers anymore. It's just the curse that keeps on cursing. Like, what is happening down there with the Clippers franchise?
Well, so if I run down the misfortune, so let's see, Bogey's got the torn hamstring. That's going to keep him out for months. In addition to Bogey having a torn hamstring, we got Kawhi Leonard with the issue that he's dealing with. In addition to him dealing with the issue he's dealing with, now I got James Harden. He was $2 million in the hole on his restaurant, so they shut the place down. So right, that's it. That's over with that. So, I mean, it's the Clippers at the end of the day. It's who they are, right? The Clippers are going to clip. That's exactly who they are. And we see anytime we've seen this Clippers, anytime we've seen the Clippers try to advance, whatever can go wrong with them is going to go wrong. That's why I could never bet on the Clippers. I can't do it. And as much as I see what's happening right now with this team, as much as I see what's happening right now with the Clippers, it's more confirmation for me of why I've been out on the Clippers and I will be out on the Clippers. This Kawhi Leonard situation is just another example of why to never bet on the Clippers. Because, I mean, it just seems like whatever can happen and whatever can go wrong with the Clippers, even with the talent that they have, even with the personnel that they have, even with the coach that they have. Just so you know, Ox, they have their head coach. He's an NBA champion head coach. They had an NBA champion head coach before him. That was a disaster. They got Kawhi Leonard, NBA champion on their crew. Brook Lopez, NBA champion on their crew, right? So they have stuff like that on their team, but it just seems to just not come together with this group and with this organization. And I think it's a little bit deeper than quote unquote a curse. I think it's more of the way that this crew has been run throughout the course of history. This crew, and if we're being honest, they used to, when they were in Buffalo, I think that their team was the arena was built on a grave site. Yeah, it was built on a grave site. I don't know if you know that, Alex. Yeah, but it was built on a grave site. And when they moved to it was either Buffalo or San Diego, where it was built on a grave site, and that's kind of where this whole quote unquote curse thing comes from. So it's just one thing after the next when it comes to the Clippers. And that's really all you can say about the Clippers. And I can tell you right now, the last thing that we're going to do, because Don says send the Clippers to Seattle. Hell no, Seattle don't want them. They want their team back. They don't want the Clippers. No, they're not interested in the Clippers. We want our team back. We don't want somebody else's team. No, that's not the way that works. We don't want you to give us a team from somebody else's city. No, we want give us our team back. That's what we want. We don't want somebody else's team. No.
Chill. Now, I can't prove it right out, but I can guarantee you that's not the only arena or stadium that's been built on a gravesite. I'm telling you, these people are wicked out here. So I can tell you that. But I mean, unless this thing with Kawhi and Steve Ballmer and all these guys, unless that is worked out soon and the axe is down, I still think the Clippers got a good thing going this season. Now, Bogey, he'll be back. It won't be at the beginning of the season, but he'll be back. James Harden's restaurant, that's no big deal as far as on the court goes. I think they did really good this offseason. Brooke Lopez, John Collins, Bradley Beal, think they're doing good. Excuse me. Chris. Oh yeah, I forgot Chris Paul. Yeah. Chill. They did their thing this offseason. So with that being said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they could be all right. Chill. They could be okay this year. Well, I got them as a top 4 team in the West.
If you look at them from in terms of roster, years ago, from a roster point, all things included, right? All things included. Nobody's hurt. Everybody's healthy. Rewind the clock back. Put this crew together that you got and rewind the clock 4 years. They win an NBA championship. At least I would think so, considering who they had. I had them winning the NBA championship. 100%. I would have them winning the NBA championship. Brooke Lopez, Leonard, James Harden, Chris Paul. Batum. I'm like, Nick Batum, Bogey. I'm like, this team's winning the NBA championship. I know how good James is. I know how good Anthony Davis is. I know how good Luka is. I'm like, ain't nobody beating them dudes 4 times in a week. No, it's not happening. That's not the problem, though. The problem is that this Clipper team, where they are now and where they were years ago, I feel like that window has closed. I think that we look at them and on paper, it looks like a great thing. But I think that we all know how this is going to turn out. I think we all know what this is going to look like in the end. It looks great, Ox. 100%, it looks great. I've said this to you countless times. You know what she looked like when she come out of rehab. You know what happens when she come out of rehab. She's fantastic looking, right? Skin is clear. Hair is full. She's looking great. She's saying all the right things. But I can guarantee you, once you put her back in her habitat, she's going to go missing for a couple of days. We're going to find her somewhere. We're going to find her somewhere where we was trying our best not to find her. And I feel like the Clippers are exactly that. They're that team that no matter how they figure it out, no matter what they put together, at some point, we're going to find them in the trap house.
I could see that. I could see that.
At some point, we're going to find them in the trap.
This is one of those teams that everything has to go right. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody got to stay healthy. And if that happens, chill, I think that they can give anybody a run for their money. I do. We got a super chat from Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart says, I hope they void Kawhi's contract just like they did Joe Smith. And my OKC Thunder got the Clips 2027 pick, so it's all good.
So you figure when this happened with Minnesota in 1999, Ox, they had to give up 5 ones. That wrecked them because, again, your man KG, Ox. So in addition to losing Marbury, which I know how you feel about that. So in addition to losing Marbury, they lose 5 first-round picks. Minnesota is not one of those places where it's very attractive to free agents, especially big-time free agents. So to bag a guy like Joe Smith, like they had to get that right, only except they got it wrong. And that set them back years. Because we don't have our first-round pick. So because we don't have our first-round pick and we losing in the first round every year that KG's here, except for 2004, we need those picks. We 100% need those picks to build our unit. You saw what the Miami Heat did with the number 14 pick. They got Bam. You saw what they did again with the number 13 pick. They got Tyler Hero. I mean, they're drafting well. If I have my first-round pick, a place like Minnesota and a guy like Kevin McHale who does his homework, I can get something quality between the 10th and the 15th pick. Now, don't get me wrong, Ox. There's a gap when it comes to the 10th and the 15th pick. I'm not going to say that, but there's really good players. I mean, Donovan Mitchell was picked at 16, right? Bam Adebayo was picked at 14. So there's plenty of good players of good value that you can get in that space. And when these guys and when the Minnesota Timberwolves are getting bounced in round 1 and they're losing their first-round pick, basically, what I have to do is I gotta come back with what I have, because in terms of free agency, nobody's coming up here. So so I'm getting what's ever left. That throws a monkey wrench in everything.
Now, now chill. That happened in Minnesota. What I want to do is I want us to stop looking at the Clippers of the past. You know what I'm saying? Buffalo, San Diego, the last Clippers, when they were sharing the Staples Center with the Lakers. This Steve Ballmer, regardless of how y'all feel about him today, Steve Ballmer has done a really good job with moving that team out of there, building that amazing facility in Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Giving this franchise a facelift, right? So, as you know, if the hammer doesn't come down as harsh as people think, I think that this new this franchise, this Clippers of the future, will have a easier time getting free agents. You know what I'm saying, in the future. You know, when you take them into that facility, you're in Los Angeles. Like the Lakers aren't the only team in LA. Inglewood is LA. You know what I'm saying? So let's not just keep looking at the Clippers in the rearview mirror. You know, Steve Ballmer has given his franchise a facelift. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that in the next, within this next 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 years, I don't think that same situation is going to be. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. And I but we'll see. We'll see what happens. On top of that, Chill. On top of that, I don't make my decisions off of videos on YouTube and all that type of stuff. I need to see some hard evidence when the NBA does their investigation. Not Pablo. What's his
Pablo Torres.
Not Mr. Torres. With all due respect to your investigative skills, Mr. Torres, I need to see an investigation. I need to see hard evidence. I'm not just gonna watch some video and be like, "Oh my God, he must be guilty." Like that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. So as far as I'm concerned, you're proven you're innocent till proven guilty. Now, if it comes out that this stuff is true and these documents that they're showing on TV and all that, how many times we've been bamboozled with that? So that's all I want to say. Now, if it happens, it happens. If not, let's keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So
fair enough.
That's
fair
all.
Enough.
That's all. No, Tennis Jay, you're delusional because you listen to one thing, accusing. You hear somebody accusing something and you just assume, well, it has to be true because I saw the piece of paper. You haven't even done your due diligence of listening to the opposing side. You haven't given them a chance to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? We can't, as far as I'm concerned right now, this is simply hearsay. So we'll see what happens though. But I'm an American and I believe that. Teddy Hart, Ox, I understand you won't take Pablo's word as law. He ain't missed yet. I'm just saying. Hey.
It sounds to me like all Ox is saying is, I'm not questioning your investigative journalistic reporting abilities. I'm not doing that at all. However, I am going to do my homework as well. I'm going to get educated on this as well. And I'm going to hear this from both sides because, again, what it sounds like on the surface and I'm not speaking for Ox, but what it sounds like is Pablo Torres is doing this on one side, like he's working for the prosecution. There is no defense here. And I'd like to hear from the defense. And once I hear from the defense, then I can put 2 and 2 together and go, okay, you dudes was way out of line. Or wait a minute, you guys got this wrong. That's what it sounds like Ox is saying.
Chill, centuries ago, how many innocent women got hung in Salem and burned at the stake in Salem because of public perception?
Yep.
And I refuse to do Steve Ballmer like that, and I definitely refuse to do Kawhi Leonard like that. I need to see some evidence, and not just some video.
And it sounds to me like Ox, and it sounds to me also, Ox, like you're not saying that I won't hang you or I won't burn you at the stake.
Oh, if your ass is guilty,
just show me why. Show me why, and I'm down. I 100% am down to do it. I will. You have my word that I'll definitely be down to throw. I'll be down to throw the book at you, which is fair, which is 100% fair. But I just think that from the aspect of investigative reporting, I just feel like when I do my homework and I understand these things more, it seems like if it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck, it's a duck. And I've seen stuff like this happen in the past. And Steve Ballmer, I feel like he painted himself into a corner, and Kawhi Leonard got himself involved with somebody that he didn't exactly. He should not necessarily he didn't know because he knew, but I think he kind of found out a little bit later how deep this thing really was. Yes.
Yeah. And once again, chill, like I was asking you and Swiper earlier, I need proof that Kawhi Leonard knew. That's all I'm asking for, y'all. I'm not saying that it just didn't happen. I just need to see so before I'm out here, accusing people of things that I have no idea about. But that's it. Let's get to the lobby real quick. We still got some time. Let's see what the fellas got to say. As a matter of fact, we got one of the biggest Kawhi Leonard haters up right now. My man, real talk.
I'm not a Kawhi Leonard hater. I am a truther.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
I am a Kawhi Leonard truther. And comparing a situation with, I think he said hundreds, if not thousands, um, of paperwork to the Salem witch trials is nuts. But that's not what I want.
We got to stack the papers on you. God damn.
But I get it, Ox. Ox, he needs to hire you on the defense team. But a few things I want to talk about. The first off, you see the picture, Ox. You ain't gonna out Luka me. That's number one. Number two,
he looks fantastic.
He looks amazing, Chill. Oh my goodness,
yes,
he looks
up,
amazing.
baby. We up, baby.
I literally said to Ox earlier. I said, Ox, let me find out that this dude is in a stance, moving his feet and getting his
yes, sir.
Let me find out that this dude is recovering after getting beat and blocking shots. Let me find out that this dude is in the passing lane, cutting off lanes and angles. Let me find out that Luka actually looking like a competent defender out here. Let me find out, boy.
But Luka out there moving, man.
Yes, he is.
I'm seeing Luka do dead, like go full speed. He running, he moving. I'm like, look at Luka.
I want you to know that I will be in attendance at least 10 Lakers games this season. At least. I'm going to be at the Lakers games in Portland, Sacramento, Los Angeles. I'll be at Phoenix. I will be there. I will be there.
But I wanted to three things, and I'm up out of here. Number one, the Clippers. I don't know. You know how like things are just. You know how you about to do something, and there's just a few things already going bad before you even do it. I'm good on the Clippers. Like the Clippers, the lawsuit, right? Bogey done got hurt. James Harden just lost the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm good on that. But
so this shit is already going bad.
Yeah, it's already going.
Before we even go on vacation, I can't find my wallet.
Yeah,
we already. Oh, this is gonna be bad right from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't like where they going. But Kaminga and Cam Thomas. One thing about Kaminga, I heard your Ox saying like you wanted him to just try to get in where he fit in for the team, and I do get that for the most part for most situations. But the thing about the Warriors is that they needed another shot creator because that's what they definitely lacked, especially prior to Jimmy Butler arriving over there. And if you remember, I don't know if it was this past year or 23-24 when like Kaminga had to write a whole letter and put that out there as like, man, I can't get any playing time, yada yada yada. Steve Kerr ends up, playing him afterwards, and he puts up decent numbers. He's putting up like 20 points per game after that. And that to me is something what that Warriors team needed. And then even this year in the playoffs, they started off that Houston Rockets series not playing them, realized they needed to play them because they needed to match some of that athleticism on the court. And then the Timberwolves series, once Steph goes down, I believe he has multiple 20-plus point games in that series as well. So I think him expanding as a shot creator and as an offensive player is not only beneficial to him, but I do think it's in line of benefiting the Warriors as well. So I think him wanting a bigger role is in line with the Warriors getting better. Now to Cam. Oh, what's up?
Real quick, because I'm just going off of what Steve Kerr was saying. So
Okay.
I understand us feeling like they need more shot creation and this and that. And that's fine. They can use that. But Steve Kerr specifically said what he needs JK to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's running the floor, hustle plays, getting after the loose balls, getting offensive rebounds, more possessions, things like that. And so that's the only reason I said that. I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying, like, if this is what the franchise is telling you they need you to do to, for them to value you, because he's saying he doesn't feel valued. They don't value you as a shot creator. They value you as an engine, as a hustle guy, a dirty work guy, a superstar role player. That's where they value you at. And that's the only reason I say that, because I'm just going off of what Steve Kerr said.
Yeah, which ironically enough,
game too, by the way, bro. So he was averaging 26 a game them last 3 games against Minnesota. When
He was
Buckets was out of the
balling.
lineup,
yeah.
he was averaging 26 a game.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I didn't know the exact number, but I knew he was scoring at a good clip. Ironically enough, Ox, the person that does do those kind of things at a high level is Jimmy Butler. So I mean, Jimmy Butler is there now, so I guess that is kind of what he's looking for. But Cam
No.
Thomas,
He said that. He said that.
oh,
After
he said
Jimmy
even
Butler.
after Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Cam Thomas, though, I do think y'all are a little low on Cam Thomas. Um, Cam Thomas is a really talented offensive player. I know Ox, and it is true. Like, somebody got to lead a bad team in scoring. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. There are a lot of NBA players that can score points, if they were put in in that situation to do so. However, he was doing it efficiently, which everybody, can't do. And then he did grow as a passer and a playmaker somewhat last year, because he had the ball in his hands. And they asked him to grow kind of as a PG quasi point guard. And if Austin Reeves is about to get $35-40 million a year, I'm sorry, and y'all know I'm an Austin Reeves fan, but he's not 25 to 30 plus $1 million a year better than Cam Thomas. He's just not. I think Cam Thomas can definitely be a very good offensive player for a really good team, the same as Austin Reeves. Now, Austin Reeves, ironically enough, is a better defensive player than Cam Thomas. That's actually the end of the court that he needs to improve on. But yeah, but Cam Thomas is a really talented offensive player, even amongst NBA players. So
Fair enough. You know where to find us at, Real Talk. You know where we at, brother.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Real
You know
Talk.
where we
Yes,
at,
sir.
brother. No doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Man, y'all, I know I got some more y'all in the lobby, but we just had so much to get through today, and it was a very interesting day today. And plus, y'all know Thursdays are shorter days. I'm sorry. But we will be back on Saturday. I see who's in the chat. All right, who's in the lobby? I'm sorry you clicked that link. I'll get y'all up first thing on Saturday if you're available. But we're not done. We are still streaming today. Y'all know what day it is. That's Thursday. Thursday means Throwback Thursday on playback.tv. Get to the Players' Choice room. We will be having a great game today. A great game. Trust me, take my word for it. Get back to playback.tv. That's what it's called. Playback.tv. We will catch y'all there. Thanks for coming. How do I get this?
Ox, I don't know who I honestly, I don't know who the game is against tonight. I just know, again, that it's of Caucasian persuasion. That's all I know. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who picked the game. I don't know none of that stuff. I just know that we're supposed to be watching the throwback.
I don't know.
2 white dudes.
I don't know exactly what the game is, but I'm starting to get a slight inclination of who they are.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm starting to like put 2 and 2 together. I'm not totally there yet, right? I'm not totally there yet, but I'm starting to have an idea of who it was. But again, it was great to see you guys today. Y'all know where to find us. Me and the big fella, we here every Monday to Friday. We're on the panel from 11 to 2. If you can't find us there, you can find us right here on the Players' Choice Network on Thursday at 4 o'clock and Saturday at 12 o'clock. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother?
Please do
Call
that.
your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, yo, call a big fella. He got you covered. He will make sure that you get to where you need to get to. So we will see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was
No
good
doubt,
to see you
no
guys
doubt.
today.
Y'all don't forget, man, just in 2 hours, 2 hours, we'll be on playback.tv. Come watch the game with us, y'all. Innocent till proven guilty, y'all. Love yourself. Never drink or drive. Peace.
Later.